Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Crane, and I am the Program Director for the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship. And you are listening to Global Industry Spotlight, a conversational series where we talk with organizations, entrepreneurs, and people in the creative industries about their work. We are streaming live out of the Comcast Business Startup Studio here in 2112, Chicago's first music, film, and tech incubator. Coming up, we have some exciting events. On October 20th, we continue our professional development tour of Chicago. So we're producing professional development music events at Hyde Park Arts Center on October 20th. On November 14th, we'll be at the Segundo Ruiz Belvis Center in Hermosa Park. And then we're doing a big event at the Epiphany Arts Center on December 3rd. But today, I'm really excited about this conversation and our guests. It's wonderful to have an international presence here at 2112. I'll tell you a little bit about how this all kind of came to be. I'm sitting next to me is Sophia Boccio, who is the founder of Asian Pop-Up Cinema. I interviewed her, I think it was maybe a year ago, and she puts together an incredible festival that happens twice a year. And then she reached out to me and she said, hey, I have these amazing guests who are coming in town to premiere their film here, Harvest Moon, which I had the joy of watching the other night. An extraordinary film, so definitely go and check that out. But we have the main actor, director, and screenwriter, Amar, here, and we have the main production person here as well. So I'm really looking forward to kind of talking to them about how we build films, how we make films. But first, I'd like to, ask Sophia, tell us a little bit about Asian Pop-Up Cinema and just the idea behind it, and then also what kind of drew you to this film and to our guests.
Well, I founded Asian Pop-Up Cinema 8 years ago when Chicago had a void of Asian films. I felt like I need to push this and fill this gap.
Mm-hmm.
And my mission is really to bridge the East and the West through films. And actually, our tagline is passport. We are your passport to Asian cinema.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to travel anywhere. You just come to our cinema and see all the films we're projecting. So this season, we already started September 8th, and we opened already with a whole weekend of Japanese film. And last weekend was Hong Kong cinema. And this is the centerpiece, which is the middle of the festival. We are so proud and honored to show a Mongolian film. In fact, a Mongolian film, we hardly show Mongolian film. We felt so bad. And I felt it's time we catch up. And Harvest Moon happened to be a film that I follow already since its first release and started the festival circuit. And it was actually last year's entry for Oscar representing Mongolia. So it got a lot of hype and also a lot of positive feedback everywhere it went throughout United States, outside of United States, internationally. I'm so glad finally it's my turn to show this film. And not only that, I got Amran, the actor director, coming. He is also the screenwriter.
Mm-hmm.
For him, this was his directorial debut. And as a bonus, it's a big bonus. We got the real boss here, the producer, Uran, coming from the film. And during this event, we also had the opportunity to honor Amran for his contribution of bridging the gap between Mongolia and the West. And this film, I call it, has real soul of Mongolia. I really love it. I enjoyed it so much. So I'm going to let the filmmakers to talk more about the film.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely check out. We'll put Asian Pop-Up Cinema. We'll put the website below. See what Sophia is building. But let's start with Uran. Mm-hmm. So, I love to tell our listeners basically just a little bit of the process of building a film. Mm-hmm. Just from the production and from the business side. Mm-hmm. So what are some of, what's your experience in doing that, and kind of what you feel like is your method of, preparing to, put a film together?
Okay. So My background is actually finance, So we are coupled filmmakers. So I just 7 years ago, we started the production company. And because I see some potential, maybe, Mongolian cinema can travel abroad, So, but just last year, from 2022, we got this film law, first time ever. So, which means, now Mongolia has real potential to expand co-production, not only just local production, we also really looking forward to collaborating with the another productions in abroad. Yeah. So this specific project, the Harvest Moon, is my fourth film as a producer. And before that, our first project film was Fate. It's really a local film. And from this film gave so much attention. We made good box office, So because of that, I have some courage to just continue in this field, So, and then our production vision is how we can actually prove financiers or like a business people, film is really not only just art, it has also have to say business side in it. It's actually the biggest business in the world, one of the biggest business in the world.
Absolutely.
So trying to be just prove that concept. So that's why we started 2 co-productions with Japanese and also US and Kazakhstan productions, So one was really auteur cinema with the Japanese director, and another one is our director was US, American, and it was action drama film.
And in terms of just building a film, and this is because I am not my expertise is not film. When you're building the story, are you also raising money for it as well at the same time, or does the money come first in terms of just like how you are able to produce or is it a relationship with the government as well? And I know for Chicago, because there's been a big tax break, a lot of things get filmed here.
Yeah, it's really depending on the project by project.
Okay.
But for this Harvest Moon film, we use some government fund, because it's like main topic is also related to the children,
Right.
So we use some government agency for child and youth, some fund from them, and also we collaborated. I raised the money from the World Vision of Mongolia. And also we use some private money, so it's really depending on the project, For example, like this co-production with the Japan, we raised it up to 40% from Mongolia, and the Japanese producer production raised the rest of the money, and also we got some grant for the post-production from France, so it's really mixed. And speaking of when actually I raise the money is, we need first a good script,
Yeah.
And also as a producer, you gotta believe in your project, a story, and also your talent, So I'm lucky enough that he is really experienced as an actor, and now he's shifting to the filmmaker, so he will talk about more.
And I love how you talked about you had the courage after the success of the first film.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of filmmakers, you have to kind of film something that's a proof of concept, or that
exactly.
I can do that. And so you're saying that the first film that you made together, what was it called again?
Faith.
That success was like, okay, we have something here and we can kind of continue to grow it.
Definitely.
In terms of shooting film in Mongolia, what is the market like for you there? Are there certain, obviously you said that you partnered with a Japanese production company. Where does the film kind of go once it's done in the Asian market?
Yeah, so this topic is actually really fresh for us, So now, I think in recent years we know that actually Mongolian films starting to travel around. Before we had, but most of the time the filmmakers, director or producers are foreign people, But now the Mongolians really producing their film, just like Sophia said that. I would say this Harvest Moon has really Mongolian soul. That's why, you know, first I encourage him, you should just direct yourself, you know, because we were looking for another directors, but we couldn't find one right one, you know. So, and then what was your question? I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, I think you know, you answered it. So you know, what you basically said is that the audience is now broad. It
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
be a small audience, or you know, not a small audience, but Mongolian based, and then you know now, even because of technology and streaming, there's a potential for a lot more reach.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you find, are there any specific other countries where the film does well?
Yes. Now the Harvest Moon is distributed in Italy and also in Taiwanese market, you know, in wide release.
That's
we're
wonderful.
doing. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and well, congratulations.
Thank
I
you
mean,
so much. Yeah.
that's you know, it's a big thing, and to build a film and finish it and produce it and then distribute it and all of that. So I want to switch now to the actual you know, actor and director of this wonderful film. Can you tell us how you got into acting? What was your first film that you were in as an actor?
Yeah. I graduated Mongolian Culture and Art University,
Okay.
1999. And during that time, we had just only 2 televisions in Mongolia,
Yeah.
and a year about just 3 or 4 films Mongolians make. And it's playing in a movie. It's very challenging, you know, no chance.
No
Mhm.
chance.
Yes. And there is a very famous director was making the kind drama movie.
Mhm.
And how can I go into this movie? I was thinking a lot, you know. And the director made a cast in our university.
Mhm.
All the students gave the casts.
Mhm.
Lined up.
Yes.
All
And-
lined up for the audition.
And, luckily, I just
Got it.
got it only one role.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes, and that was my first movie in 1998.
Okay.
Yes, and next year I was a student,
Mhm.
and next year my friends made movie together. You know, we just that was a big challenge, you know, and that movie was very successful. As I met sometimes the audience 27 times watched that movie, you know.
Wow.
And that movie was a boom in Mongolia,
Mm.
and the love story,
Okay.
kind of, yes.
Love
Yeah.
triangle.
Yeah.
Love
yeah, yeah, yeah.
triangle. Oh, everybody.
And so
loved
you're
that.
saying your friends and you produced this film,
Yes,
this like
yes.
indie film, as we would say,
Exactly.
and it became very popular.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, fast forwarding, I mean, it seems like you've had a successful career in acting. What inspired you to be the director, you know, for this? I mean, obviously you talked about how we couldn't find the right person, and this is your directing debut. What were you thinking about as a director when you started to approach this project?
It's very difficult question. we were looking for the director.
Yeah.
Oh.
I met lots of directors in Mongolia, you know.
Yeah.
But we talk about my script and talk, and in the morning, just still on my script, you know.
Yeah.
And we just decided, okay, you direct it. And during that time, our production, how can I say? There's the company is translating the book
Okay.
of Italian director Fellini.
Oh.
Yes, then I wrote this book
Ah,
and on Mongolian.
yeah.
And the Fellini, I didn't watch any movies from the Fellini,
Okay.
but just his life, his story, and his wife was an actress. And this person's life story is very inspired me, you know. And I didn't believe I can direct this movie, you know. But during the directing and acting, always I was in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And I switched in front and in behind the cameras,
Yeah.
you know. And that boy was very natural,
Yeah.
talented guy, you know.
Wow. Yes.
And he helps me a lot, you know,
Mhm.
living a truly, you know. And after that movie, I just fall in love to direct.
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the boy in the movie is amazing actor, and just it was quite an extraordinary performance.
Yeah.
Both of you,
Thank you.
was incredible. So Sophia mentioned how this film for her felt like really representing the heart of Mongolia, and my observations, and I talked about this a little bit off camera, was that there's a quietness, there's a lot of unsaid things in the film between characters, which I love. I appreciate, because you're always wondering, well, what are they actually thinking? What was your thinking behind just the way that it was shot in terms of these beautiful landscapes and then these kind of quiet moments between characters? What was your thinking when you were directing and acting that?
Yeah, it's now all cities are same, so busy, so noisy. Everybody just non-stop working. This is Mongolian countryside. Every country has a countryside, but Mongolian population is very few, kind of, and Mongolian countryside, it's the same like that.
Yes.
And
Today,
also,
it's the same.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
It's a Mongolians characters. They talk not a lot.
Do not.
Less.
Yeah.
Less talk.
Yeah.
Just they, and even my father, my mother, and in countryside,
Yeah.
everywhere,
Yeah.
That kind. I want to show that kind of character,
Yeah.
and also. Sorry about my English.
Oh no! Don't apologize for your English. No, it's
And
great.
I also, I want to show how people connecting by heart,
Yeah.
That's why I didn't put any music on this movie.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Just the wind. What kind of noise in this countryside? I want to put them all,
Yeah.
Just a drop, raindrop, and river and wind and deer.
Yeah.
Still deer. At that time was autumn and lots of deer crying, shouting, wolf
Yeah.
sound, and everything on what is in countryside. All these sounds and this.
And you talked about too how you have had experience in the countryside besides the film, right? Like you understand, or I mean, did you live in the countryside where were your parents or your grandparents there? What was your experience before the film with the Mongolian countryside?
He's a countryside man.
I grew up in the city.
Okay.
But every year, every time I go countryside,
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, my father was a truck driver. Always go countryside, and I grew up in a cabin, in a car.
Yeah.
And also, I'm a hunter.
Yes.
And lots of friends in the countryside, and always visiting and hunting. And I have a so big. My soul still living in countryside.
Yeah.
That's why I know the countryside lifestyle, and countryside, the countryman's, the character,
Yeah.
and what is he thinking, that situation, that's why. And I know if you see that movie, there's no plastic bags, nothing plastic. This just wood and metal, what we use in countryside, like that, everything.
Yeah.
And also cell phone connection is very bad.
Yes.
It's always happening,
I mean, the opening scene is fantastic with the horse. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but it's really.
Sometimes we just write the text on the phone and just
throw it up and hope it goes through. I love that. Yeah, and talk about casting this film. I mean, every character is fantastic, and it feels, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, like very authentic. What was your approach to casting all the different roles and the characters in the film?
Yeah, these characters and grandmother and grandfather and my father, these are the actors.
Yeah,
as actors, and the local guys singing and near the fire, next to the fire, they're all local guys.
Okay.
And we picked them up from the village.
Okay.
And we just organized the Mongolian traditional, we call Natam, the festival. The kids wrestling or horse racing, archery.
Yeah.
And we use all village people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then what about the two like the two drunks
Yeah,
or whatever
alcoholics.
we would call them?
Yeah.
They're also actors.
Yeah, actors.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean it was great, like all of the different scenes, and then there was even an American that popped in for 2 seconds.
He's our sound guy, yeah.
It's actually kind of it was almost like abrasive, right? You have this like very warm kind of cultural like exchange, and then it's just like a backpackers like,
Yeah.
and I can imagine even the representation of that is like you showed that, right? Like how abrasive it is. It's like who's like what is this, you know? But yeah, I mean really congratulations on the film. So now what does it look like? And I'll go back to you, Uran. In terms of, okay, so we have this film, it's great. What's the strategy behind, you know, getting it distributed, getting into more places? How do you approach that, you know, as a production, you know,
Yeah.
person?
So we have a sales agency called the Asian Shadows.
Mhm.
So they're
Yeah.
just actually working on the, you know, I think, you know, this, we are emerging country in the film industry now. So for emerging country, independent filmmakers first, you gotta have a good film, and second one is you gotta have some good sales agency, you know, right one. And then our sales agency is really, I'm happy with them because they are not like a library, you know, they just particularly just really selecting what they really love, you know. So and then we have this really good festival circuit, and then this you know, visibility. Actually, festival is giving us for the production, for the filmmakers, visibility internationally.
And the
go
ahead.
visibility. And then through this festival, actually, we can have some more sales in international territories, you know.
Yeah. And I know that there's been a big discussion too on yeah, definitely fix the mic.
Thank
It's
you.
got a little lean to it. In terms of, you know, streaming, right? I know there's been a lot of talk about that. I mean, even from a music standpoint, you know, financially it's just not viable, right? You don't make any money from streaming. But it's a great marketing tool, obviously, to get it into, you know, more people's homes.
Yeah.
What is the approach, you know, to get it on these larger platforms? Is that really seen as success for the film, or what does success look like for you, or what are you hoping?
Okay, so for this specific project,
Yes,
in the long run, you know,
yes.
we need money, you know.
Of
like,
course.
we need
We all, yeah.
Otherwise,
Yes.
we can't continue for the long
Right.
run, right? So for this specific project, actually, from the beginning, we wanted not make this film not as a commercial film, you know.
Yeah.
We because it's his directorial debut, and I know from the beginning he is the one who really direct this film, you know, because I know his lifestyle, I know what's his potential as a filmmaker, you know, for this specific topic. So that's why I try to raise soft money, not like a hard money, you know, so that it gives me more freedom to, you know, like have to say, for the distributing wise, more freedom to travel in a long run, you know, not like chasing the money, you know. For this specific project, my success or my goal, our goal is trying to just introduce Mongolian culture and Mongolian people's heart and, you know, character as naturally the way it is to the international audience, you know. This is our goal. So we hope we are small by small, step by step, reaching our goal. Yeah.
And how long? What is the timeline for, like, you know, once you're done with the film, in terms of doing the festival circuit, like it not being super public? How long is that? Like a year or 2 years, maybe? I mean, you know,
is sooner is better, you know. It's
Yeah.
I think, you know, we got sales agency during the post-production stage, because we got this co-producer from the friends, so she helps helped out finding the right sales agency, and it depends on a year to 2 years in a row. You gotta have this sales agency.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's too old film, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sophia, can you talk a little bit about what you have seen kind of change in the Asian film market in the last 8 years, and what you're excited about? You know, that maybe it hasn't changed or it has, but I mean, I'm just curious from your perspective, being, you know, a curator and someone that is championing that sector.
I think last 8 years, Asian film had definitely caught everybody's attention. Yeah, there are so many Asian filmmakers, you know, picking up so many international awards. Started with curated in from Japan, and of course recently Bong Joon-ho with Parasite. These are all, you know, big awards they are getting. They're taking it away from other international filmmakers.
Right.
So they caught the international audience attention. Drive My Car, and it's another film from a Japanese director. It's a 3-hour film that normally nobody want to watch it. So that's all of this are changing, are influencing and telling people, if you watch subtitles, if you pay attention, a little bit patient, you can actually open your mind and see more films and more good content, authentic content coming from Asia. So that message is across the board now. I think they've really done it. I applaud all the filmmakers in Asia doing it. Mongolian as well is part of that big picture. We are all making the same big voice, you know, to push the envelope, to push it into the Western audience. So compared to 8 years, there's so much more out there. I must say that Netflix, Apple, and all these pay-per-view streaming channels also did their part, because whether or not they are showing a Korean drama or a you know a Taiwanese TV drama, they are making it more visible in the international households. There are a lot of people are still watching films from home. They don't even go to the cinema.
Right.
And this is a change. This is change that we are all experiencing it, whether or not before the pandemic or now. It's actually changing already. I think even the Hollywood studios know that their theatrical attendance has dropped a lot recently.
Right.
I mean, the summer blockbuster, all we got were all these spectacles,
Right.
all this
Barbie,
Marvel, all the superheroes, all
Right.
this film.
Right.
And dramas is the place that we used to enjoy, go and watch it. And we were in the dark and watch it together and totally absorbing that film together. But we don't have that audience anymore. The art house cinema is the area that film festival like us trying to give it still a place to show. So I think we still have a lot to do. But I just want the audience to not remember the films were made for the big screens.
Exactly.
Yes, there were films made for the TV too. But the main thing, the film, I wouldn't show Harvest Moon on a screen. You have to see it. You have to see the majestic view, and you have to be there. Like you say, it's a quiet film. Unless you are in the dark and focus, if you're home, you probably there's so much distraction.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to see it, and then you will be totally driven, or you're totally absorbing and immerse yourself in the miracle of that film. That's how you absorb a film. I always say that movie is taking you to another world. If you focus, you are in there, you watch it, you are in another world, another person's life, and you are moved by it, or you laugh or whatever. You got to be in that mode.
Yeah, I love this idea, which I also think translates in many different creative endeavors, is the collective experience
Yes.
of sharing a moment of art together,
Right.
and not alone, and how powerful that can be when experiencing, you know, a dance performance or a music performance or watching a film together.
Exactly.
We can share in that,
Yeah.
share in that moment. And it is an unfortunate kind of transition where we're isolated, self-isolated
Yeah.
by, you know, our phones and our TVs, and, you know, we're not getting out of the house. But, you know, thanks to people like you,
Thank you.
who are, you know, curating,
Thanks to
and
the filmmakers.
thanks to the filmmakers.
Without their story,
Yeah.
without their content, nothing for us to show. I'm
Right.
so glad that there are still good films coming out. And they're
Yes.
really good films,
Yeah.
good quality
Yeah,
films.
absolutely.
That worth your time for that couple of hours
Yeah.
to hang out with us.
Yeah, I had no expectation watching, and I just was totally glued. My wife came home. She's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm watching a Mongolian film." She was just like, "Okay," and but it was just a really nice experience to watch that. And I think about what you mentioned too, in terms of we want so much spectacle,
Yeah.
but we don't want we want spectacle, but we need heart.
Yes.
You know,
We need heart.
we need heart in terms
Yeah.
of what we're you know, consuming on an art basis. Well, thank you so much, you know, for
Thank you,
coming
Daniel.
to our studio, you know, in person. You know, it's wonderful to watch the film and I'll see you. And please,
The film is showing
yes, you.
tomorrow,
Mhm.
2:00 at AMC NEWCITY 14, Lincoln Park. And at the same time, we are so honored to have the opportunity to present a Pinnacle Career Achievement Award to Amran. You know, I'm not just celebrating about this film. I'm also celebrating this is a person who dedicated a lot of his time, at least couple, 10 years, in promoting cultural exchange. And the world would be much better if we all learn to know about each other and accept each other and be a better place.
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
thank you to
thank you so
Sophia,
much.
Amran, thank you, Uran. Thank you so much for coming today and spending your time with us. It was a wonderful conversation. I wish all of you the most success in continuing to put out great art and promote great art. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
so
inviting
much,
us.
yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Again, my name is Daniel Crane, and I'm the program director for the Center for Creative Entrepreneurship. And you have been listening to an incredible Global Industry Spotlight with wonderful international guests. Please check out Asian Pop-Up Cinema and look out for Harvest Moon, an extraordinary film. And I'm wishing everyone a great end to their week. We are streaming live out of the Comcast Business Startup Studio, located here in 2112, Chicago's first music, film, and tech incubator. Take care.
Cut.
Cut.